bring. From the rising of the sun until the going down of the same. Yeah. From the rising of the sun.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Joy for the Journey Conversations. And today, my special friend, she's not a guest, but she's a friend and a sister in my life, is none other than Dr. Jasmine Scurlock, the daughter of Thunder. Come on, everybody, help me welcome her. Welcome, Dr. Jazz.
Oh, thanks, Joy. Thanks for having me. Hey, everybody.
You're welcome. I really appreciate you being here. Well, as you know, many of you know who she is. You know, she's nicknamed the daughter of Thunder. In fact, she had a big D on the back of her jacket. Come on, show us, Jazz, real quick. Just turn around real quick. Come on, daughter of Thunder.
I need to put an M on it because now I'm the mother of Thunder. There's enough people.
You done graduated from daughter to mother.
Yeah, I was telling Dr. Twigs, you know, Dr. Twigs, who is my spiritual mom.
Yeah.
I said, Mom, you're the grandmother of Thunder.
Oh,
I am the mother of Thunder. And then you have all these young women in ministry who are now the daughters of Thunder. And then you got the babies of Thunder.
Babies of Thunder. Oh.
But for now, I'm holding on to the daughter of Thunder.
Come on and hold on. I love it. I love it. But not only, you know, are you the daughter of Thunder, you're a great evangelist, an amazing pastor at Victory Grace Center in Maryland, in the DMV area. And
Yes.
Dr. Jazz does a V Live every week, so y'all need to kind of check that out. It's a virtual church.
Yeah.
So it's straight live. It's awesome. I have woken up at 5:30 in the morning, California time, just to log in for my sister's service. Yes, I have.
And thank you for the sacrifice.
Yeah. But listen, I've been on this journey for 3.5 years, a healing journey.
Wow.
And I wanted to capture it on videos just to bring people into my healing journey. Because a lot of people, you know, they saw what happened 3 years ago. They heard about the scandal. It went viral, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And then they saw me go from Denver to Dallas to Cali, but I didn't give them really the in-betweens.
Yeah.
So, and I really want to take people on this journey with me so that they can see I didn't heal by myself. Like, I needed a tribe. I needed a sisterhood, a brotherhood. I needed a community around me to help me heal, Dr. Jazz. And you were one of those people. And I don't brag on I'm not a name dropper. You know, I don't brag on my relationships and throw that around because I'm just real cautious and careful of that.
Right.
But let me just talk about how we first met.
Okay.
1998.
Oh, my Lord.
Boot camp, youth conference.
Yes. Don Mears, Bishop Don Mears. Boot camp, which is so crazy. I live 15 minutes from that church.
No way. Right now.
Right now, where I live is 15 minutes from Evangel. 15 minutes. Wow. I could actually walk to Evangel.
And you were a youth pastor back then, right?
I was a youth pastor. I was pastoring a church in York, Pennsylvania, but I would often come up for boot camp at Evangel. It was one of the biggest. It was like our Azusa for boot camp.
It sure was.
Yeah.
And that's where I met you, because when we were living in Boston at the time, our youth group would come down and things like that. So that's where I first encountered you. I didn't really meet you, but that's where I first encountered you. And then let's fast forward. We've been in the same circles, at the same conferences. We were in, I won't say denomination, but you know what I mean. We were in the same circle.
Yep.
And then when we had our own church in Denver, you came there, and you came at a very pivotal time.
Yeah.
So that's when I believe our sistership began, was March of 2017. Although we've seen each other, we've known each other, we've been acquaintances all these years, but the real deal Holyfield relationship started in 2017. So, man, you were asked to come and preach at the Potter's House in Denver, and you found out, you know, about my marriage being in trouble and things like that. And you were always pro-marriage. You weren't like, you need to leave, and you were never like that. In fact, you gave me a book.
Yeah, The Power of a Praying Wife, Rebuilders.
Rebuilders.
But you know, before March of 2017, I think I came and preached at the Potter's House in Denver maybe 3 years straight. I think you remember, I would always come in and preach to our, and then we would go in the back office, and you and Chris, and we all eating with the boys and the oh gosh, some great food and great fellowship. I think one time I came and Keon and different people were there, and so I didn't just pop up on March in 2017. I had, anything, but we would always just be. I would always be talking with the guys about something, about preaching or something, and you would be in the room also, and we would chit chat, but never really sit down and say, okay, because I don't think we even went to lunch or anything like that. But we enjoyed, and I didn't go to lunch with anybody else either, but we just enjoyed being in that space. And
but another connection we had, Dr. Jazz, was we're both island girls, and I know you have you locked into that accent forever. I pull mine out whenever, so I haven't had to pull it out just for you. Like, you're from Trinidad, I'm from St. Kitts, so we have that island connection,
Yes. And then you have people from the Caribbean in your church, and you guys did a fantastic job doing that ministry. Now, I preached at the Potter's House in Dallas. I've done Denver. I did. Is it for the Winfield, the one that Winfield passes?
Yeah, Fort Worth.
Okay, I did that. I think it's only one I haven't been to, so I loved it. But I always loved Denver because the Mile High, the mountains, of course, the Denver Broncos, and then to see what you guys did with that ministry was phenomenal. I think was something powerful.
So for you to have come on a very crucial day, out of all the people that were asked to come and preach for the church anniversary. I think it was the 7th or 8th year church anniversary. You were there. Out of all the people on the planet, I don't think that was by accident.
Yeah. I don't believe in accident. When I look back at it, I was like, okay, wow. When I look back, it had to be just a God thing, because I remember this word that I had, and I hadn't talked to you. Didn't talk to your ex to find out anything. I was just chucking away. I had no clue anything was going on. I just know I'm coming to Denver to preach at the Potter's House. I'm excited.
Yeah. So you come there and you find out what's going on. Everything goes boom. And you reached out to me, when I say instantaneously, like right away. And I wasn't, honestly, and I told you this before, I wasn't sure why you was reading. I was like, is she spying on me? Are you taking information and carrying it back? I didn't know, because we didn't have that sister. We were friendly, we were acquaintances. I knew you loved me. I loved you. I was down for you. You was down for me. But this is where the rubber met the road. And it's like, okay, why is she all of a sudden? I really, and then I got scared for you, because I was like, aren't you risking, your reputation by being? It's almost like I felt like I had a scarlet letter on my forehead, Yeah. But you've been through this.
Yes.
And this is why I have you on the call, Dr. Jazz, because I wanted people to see that when you're in ministry, you go through divorce, there's life after divorce.
Yeah. And there's life after divorce, and before there's life, there's hell before divorce. A lot of things. And I would say what you were feeling, okay, why is she reaching out to me or anything like that? Let me say this. First of all, I loved both of you. You know that. I would say Chris was my boy. Joy is my girl. I never distinguish. I'm always for love. I was always for you guys. I wouldn't, and things. So love both of y'all, and reached out to him also, and reached out to you also. And, when you told me, the first thing was like, listen, you need this Rebuilders. And I got this Rebuilders book from Pastor Jenkins when I was going through my divorce. He's like, here it is. So I was like, okay, here it is. And I'm going to do whatever, because I was team marriage. I'm still team marriage. I think love is powerful. I think marriage is powerful. I think it's one of the most powerful thing. And I know having to go through a divorce or separation or to walk away can be one of the most important decisions you make. Somebody said 2 important decisions you make. Number 1, where you're going to spend eternity, and who you're going to spend your life with. Those 2 decisions.
Which also feel like an eternity,
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So for me, it was like, oh my goodness. And honestly, I was angry that the enemy, I was like, I can't believe, good God, no, not this. Because honestly, the hills were it's like, the sound of music, the hills are filled with the sound of music.
The hills are alive.
With the sound of music. So it's like, oh my goodness, that the people were rooting for y'all. We were excited for y'all. I've never been in circle where people like, oh, let's try to cause that. We were like, here comes the hills. Whether we were at Gideon, Pisgah, whatever, Potter's house, wherever. It was like Beyonce and Jay-Z. It was like Bonnie and Clyde. It was like, what I'm saying? That's how we saw it. So when I heard about it, my heart was just aching and hurting, and I had to do two sermon on that day. And so between when getting the news to having to, oh my gosh, to wrap my brain, I was feeling for him, I was feeling for you, I was feeling for the church, I was feeling this whole thing. And I'm sure you were feeling it.
That was a heavy weight, a heavy load to carry that day.
Yeah.
Hey man, like your presence that day was so crucial. And I know that it was divinely ordained by God for you to be there on that day.
Yeah.
And I just want to say, I've said it to you in private. I've said it to you on your interview when you've interviewed me. I appreciate you being there for the both of us. Yeah. That's really uncommon to find people that, in a divorce kind of situation. A lot of people, it's human nature to pick sides. But you loved us both. And I just want to publicly say, again, thank you so much for that. Oh, yeah. That shows your true friendship. Like, you're genuine. You're real.
Yeah.
And you didn't. And the thing about, for getting back to just being a woman in ministry, a lot of women who go through divorce, they tend to end up being ostracized.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. So, as a woman who has been through divorce yourself, were you ever ostracized because of your situation?
Oh yeah, I was. And I would tell you, when I look back over it, I was ostracized for two reasons. Number one, which I'm sure you've experienced it, and anybody who's been through a divorce experienced it. When you are in a circle and you go through a divorce, it's like everybody think it's going to happen to them also. So they start running from you.
Wow. Yeah, like you have the plague.
Right. And
Corona.
Yeah, right. But also because it reveals to them how vulnerable they are.
Absolutely.
Because I don't know about you, because I was like, I will never go through a divorce. It will never happen to me. Yeah, blah, 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 blah. And nobody gets married to go through a divorce. Things happen. The book is called, Shift Happens.
Yeah.
Okay, shift happens. Things happen. Yeah. And so that was one of the part of the reason for the distancing of people. And I understand that. I totally understand. I don't judge people for that. The second reason also is because there is this stigma in the church world. Yeah. There's the stigma in Christendom and in the circles that we run in, that to go through a divorce, it's like to experience the judgment of God.
Right.
I'm saying, like, oh my gosh, something is wrong with, you're out of the will of God or something like that. And to reconcile that theology, people have not gotten to that place as yet. So I've been there, I've done that. And I've experienced what the distance is. That's why I felt more even compelled to reach out to you, because I didn't want you to take flight. Because most people will. Now, for me, I came out fighting, And when I say came out fighting, I mean, I jumped into my ministry. I kept going. And I'm going to prove to them I'm still anointed. I'm still gifted. Some people take flight. They go in. They eat the whole chocolate bar. They get the
whole cake.
The whole cake. You know what I'm saying? So that's my thing, was because ultimately I knew that you had an anointing on your life, a gift on your life, and marriage. Bishop Pastor Jenkins said it this way, Romans 10, I think 28 or something. He said, the gifts and the calling of God is without repentance.
Yep. So true.
God didn't change his mind. Because I went through a divorce. The gift and the calling and the anointing is still on you. And I wanted you not to forget that.
And it's so important that you said that, because I've often said myself, Jazz, I was called before I was married.
Yeah.
Anointed before I was married.
Yeah.
I had a purpose on my life before I was married. And God didn't change his mind when I got divorced.
Right.
But I think, okay, because that was going to be one of my questions to you too. Like, how did you jump right back into ministry? So you just pretty much answered that. People heal in different ways, and people deal with their situation in different ways.
I jumped back into ministry, number one, because I love ministry. But frankly, honestly, I had to jump back in because I had to make a living. Listen, there was no backup plan. There was no, here's I had relocated.
So you didn't have severance package?
No. I had relocated like you to Columbus, Ohio, following this place. This is my heart. This is my dream. We're going to make a life together. And I got put out. It was like I got the house. I didn't have the car, the house. I lost everything.
Me too.
Everything. So listen, I jumped back in because what can I do? Okay, I started thinking, what can I do? And I remember my son, if he watching, Devin is watching. I got my first job at Sayers. That's like J.C. Penney's.
Yeah.
People don't know this story. And I was tagging prices on the clothes.
Wait, this is after your divorce?
Yes, ma'am.
Shut up.
I worked at J.C. Penney. I had a 1-bedroom house, couldn't afford AC, the window would open. I had a fan in the window. I had a 1995, 85 Honda that when you went over 40, water came in from the bottom and hit. And many times it was peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Many times. And I was just trusting God. I remember telling God, this is how much I'm gonna need a month. Now you can send one person to send this one check. You can send 10 people to it. But at the end of the day,
this is what I need.
Here it is.
Listen, I remember you telling me that when I moved from Denver to Dallas. You said, Joy, what is it that you need from the Lord? Give him an amount. Give him a figure. You said, and you told me just that. You said, it doesn't matter if it comes from one person, 5 people, 10 people, long as it totals up. Wow.
Yeah.
I remember you telling me that. So you told the Lord yourself. Wow.
Yeah. And so I had to, then I realized, so I'm working at J.C. Penney's. I'm working at Sayers. I did Amway. I don't tell me that they didn't do as Mary Kay, but I realized something. What I was gifted in was my mouth.
Come on.
So I was like, what am I thinking? I'm going to stir back up this gift. Because first of all, you when you go through a divorce, you experience rejection. So you don't want to put yourself out there, because that's what you were talking to me to the other day about, oh gosh, this mentoring thing. I don't want to put myself out there. No, you don't want to experience rejection. That's what it is. And so I'm like, okay, I'm going to just poke my head out there and see if anybody, and Bishop Walter Scott Thomas invited me. And then Billy Curtis invited me. And then all these different people, because your gift will make room for you. Like where you are, you in California.
Yeah.
When you were in Dallas, you were a school teacher, but that wasn't your calling.
Right. Because that's what I did. I went right back to, like Peter said, I go fishing, when all that stuff happened with Jesus. It's like, let me go back to what I know. I had to go back to what was going to pay my bills. You know, my son with us, I had to put food on the table. I'd never been a single mom before. I've never been divorced, you know. So yeah, I had a degree in education and I went right on back to the schoolhouse. You do what you got to do until you get where you need to get. So
because you know, one of the things they said is that most women who go through a divorce, if they don't have a circle, they can end up in poverty.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's why I love
my first video, Jazz. I had my circle with me. That circle, they helped. In fact, they even helped me to get the retainer fee money for my divorce attorney because I didn't even have enough money for that.
Right.
So yeah, it's so important. I agree with that, to have a tribe. But you were part, even though you weren't part of that particular circle that helped with the retainer money, man, you have put your money, ma'am, where your mouth is, and you have been there for me. Like even if you invite me to come and sing at a service, or you know, you have me to come sing on your Zoom during the Corona, and you're having people to sow into my life, and all of a sudden my Cash App is going ding 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 ding. I'm like, that Jasmine Spurlock, oh my gosh. But like, you've been there for me. You have put your money where your mouth is. And I just want to ask you this, like, in your opinion, do you agree or disagree? I thought that you were risking your reputation, honestly, to be associated with me. Do you agree, disagree? Why did you, do it?
Yeah, well, I'm sure I lost some invitations. I'm sure I've lost some, friends. But if I lost some friends, they were not my friends in the first place. That's number one.
That part.
Yeah, they were not friends in the first place. The second reason is, I would say the second thing in terms of invitation, God is good. When I met you, I wasn't climbing. I was already up there. So you can, what are you going to do? What you going to do? And, ultimately, here's the most powerful thing, and I've tried to tell you this, I've tried to tell everybody. God is in control of my life. It is not you.
Absolutely.
And we make people so big and we make them so important. But at the end of the day,
the middle, the beginning and the middle too. Let's just put all the whole day.
Right. God is in control. And we're going to have to either trust God or believe that God is in control or not. And I had to get into that place because I thought my life and my ministry was in people's hands, and I had to, give a card and walk around, like a puppy. But I was like, at the end of the day, hey, listen, before I formed you in your mother's womb, I knew you. Yes. And I called you and anointed you to be a prophet. I just finished my Finally Me for Real conference, and my first night I preach on, I am going to apologize for a lot of stuff, but I refuse to apologize for who I am. And I use that Jeremiah passage where the Lord formed me. I'm a prophet. And he did it when I was in Trinidad drinking coconut water, running around barefoot, preaching in a tree house. So I just had to remember who I was.
Remember, like, oh my God. Wait, stop right there. Yeah. Remember who you are. Isn't that a line from Black Panther? I think the mother told, King T'Challa, remember who you are. Because a lot of times we forget as women, powerful women, anointed women, boss women, we forget, look, I'm not only fearfully and wonderfully made, but I'm smart, I'm intelligent, I'm creative, I'm intuitive, I'm discerning, like all those things. Don't forget who you are. And I think having people like you in my life, Jazz, to say those kind of things to me that help me, to think and to strategize. You didn't just be like, oh, poor Joy. You did not do that. You empathize with me because you've been through what I've been through, but you also like, okay, girl, pull your big girl panties on.
We got to go.
We got stuff to do. So you've been helping me to strategize and think for the last 3.5 years. I never met anybody like you before. And then you introduced me to who is a business coach of mine. I'm going to bring her on next week. But because of you, you connected me with Natalie Taylor, and just, you keep investing in me and connect. You're one thing Dr. Jazz is, she's a great connector. like she loves to connect people together. And I'm so grateful to have you in my life to continue to help me to grow and to stretch. I mean, even before getting on this Zoom call, you're like, okay, Joy, how's your Wi-Fi? You got the bandwidth, you got this, you got the lighting, make sure you're all right. I want you to look good. You know, I want us to look good. I'm like, you're always looking out for my best interest. And not in like a, woe is me. You've never treated me like a victim. Never. Never.
My church is called Victory, not Victims.
Come on.
And that's who we are. We overcome Satan by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of our testimony. And to see you in this journey. And I'm not the most person who's going to sit down and wallow in mud. I pivot real fast, you know. And so I'm like, hey, we got to go.
Yep. So what point, you know, it's been a quick journey. You know, some women don't jump back, snap back as quickly as I did. And I didn't know, because I was watering my own grass. I wasn't trying to look at somebody else's yard and how they're growing or not. But how did you know that, okay, Joy she's no longer a victim of the situation. She's gonna be all right. Like how did you know that I was all right?
Well, first, you know, you really don't know. I even think about my own self. I think of the fact that you really don't know if you are completely whole, you know what I'm saying? But I do know you are loose of it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you're loose of it. I tell people the next level is whole. And I think when I know that you had transitioned from, you know, they talk about the different stages of when you die. The first stage is denial, right? Okay, the second stage is
grief. The 5 stages of grief,
right. It's different stages of grief, and then it comes to a point where you just know that you know that you know, and your friends know it. And I think this is how I knew it for you, and this is how I knew it for me. I started dancing again, and you started singing again. You see, your joy, you know, because remember, when I used to see you, I saw you singing. You would be directing that thing, singing, and you be all over there doing praise and worship, tarrying,
taking my shoes off, and
all that stuff. So I said that, and for me, I tell people, you know, I lost it when I stopped dancing, and that's why, you know, my biggest videos that people look. You see, I'm
like 50,000 people viewing, and she just shaking what the Lord gave her.
And because my first book was Dancing with Broken Bones, because dancing was part of my culture, and I grew up dancing. Can't sing a lick, but grew up dancing. So you know it. To anybody who's listening, you know that you are on this healing process, because the one thing that you remember you love to do,
passion.
Oh my God, you will do it even if nobody paid you for it.
Listen.
And one morning she just started tapping, and I'm like, and ever since that, and so I see you now, and you're singing, and you've embraced your name. Your joy is back. There's that when you talk about what you're doing in California with that church, and you're working on the songs, and even before we came on, you were out there doing your little testing. I saying, you know what I'm saying? You warming up your vocal cords. I'm warming up my feet.
I sure was. I was walking out my park.
And I'm doing. I'm like, okay, this is how I warm up when I'm getting ready to do an interview. I do my dancing and stuff. I'm ready to go. So that's how you know it, because then that's who you are when you are a thing. And for me to see you come in full circle. And even in this place where you are now, it's amazing. And I say to you, I'm preaching a series in Genesis where Noah, before he went into the flood, he built an ark, right? He built an ark. He comes out of the ark and he builds an altar. So he moves from building an ark, then he builds an altar. And after he worshiped at that altar, the Bible says, and he planted a vineyard. And before the divorce, you build an ark.
Yes.
When you build an altar, but now you are no longer a builder, but no like a farmer, you know. And so the thing about divorce, Joy, this is crazy, and I don't know. I have to study it theologically or whatever. Whatever it is that the greater view that needed to come up so the world can see it. I don't know why it has to take a broken heart or a crush or something, but A.W. Tozer, a theologian, said, it is unlikely that God can use you greatly until he's first broken you deeply. And
that one more time for the people in the back.
A.W. Tozer said, it's unlikely that God can use you greatly until he's first broken you deeply. And he took bread, he blessed it.
Oh, blessed it, yes. Then.
And then after he broke it, he fed so many people with it.
Woo!
I don't know what that is because I'm like, God, could you have not used me without the breaking?
All right. Yeah. Man.
Yeah. And the people who will value you where you are now is the people who saw the blessing. Oh, walk with you through the breaking.
Walk with me.
Through the breaking.
Yes.
And now to see you now, look at this, multiplying with different platforms and different thing. You get ready to do your mentorship and you're doing this ministry in California and you have your own talk show. It breaks and it's no longer two pieces of bread. It feeds the man.
Right.
Yeah.
I think my reach is going to be even greater.
Oh, our reach is always going to be greater. It's going to be greater. It's going to be deeper. It's going to be stronger.
Yes.
And it's just an amazing thing. And you know, when you look back, you hate that it happened.
Right.
You wish it didn't happen. But oh my goodness, it took me
together. They
right.
Work together for your good.
Right. And now you know something that is even make you more dangerous is that you're not a survivor, you're an overcomer.
That's right. Somebody sent me a text last week showing me an old picture and like, man, you are a survivor. I said, I'm even more than a survivor. I'm a survivor. I'm thriving in my life. I really am living. I feel so free.
Yeah.
You know, I'm unapologetically me, you know, and like you said, going through that deep brokenness has brought something up out of me. You know, the volcano has to go through this shaking, this eruption, this intense heat, this intense pressure. But then at the end of the day, you know, that's how diamonds are formed.
Yeah.
Right? They got to go through all this turmoil, this heat, this pressure, this shaking, and then out of it comes this amazing gem and a treasure that's inside of us. So I'm so grateful for you, Dr. Jazz. You're not just, you know, somebody that I have eaten off of the word from you, things that come out of your mouth, but just every time we talk, you deposit something in me. And I'm so grateful for our friendship and our sistership. And I'm a better person because you came into my life. So I'm grateful.
Well, I'm grateful too, and I thank you for giving me this opportunity. I celebrate you, and the best is yet to come. And I'm looking forward, and thank you for the joy for the journey.
Oh, thank you, sis. I love you.
Love you too.
Okay, take care. Bye.
Bye.